All right, so what's going on, guys? We are headed to Gold's Gym to train back. I am feeling very good, very full from refeeding this weekend. And today I think is going to be a most juicy session. We are primarily going to focus on width with a secondary focus on thickness. So I know something that a lot of people struggle with is putting on size. So I figured we'd talk a little bit today about just that, putting on size. And, what does it really mean to do so? Well, it means you're going to be working damn hard, that's for sure. It's not easy, especially as an ectomorph, as someone who burns a lot of calories. Typically taller people have a harder time putting on size. And for us, it's really a mental game. How long can you stay in it? How long can you be consistent for? And if the answer is always, then you will have no problem putting on size. And then your only issue to deal with is your impatience in doing so. Because if you're anything like me, you want to see results now. Well, that's just not going to happen. That is just not going to happen. So we need to practice delayed gratification, and we need to be at peace no matter what. That's the main thing. If you can practice delayed gratification, you will be huge. So, when I want to put on size, which is what I'm going to be doing now, this will be the focus now that we have officially leaned out for Mexico. And, at the end of this week, we'll be leaving, and I, have already achieved my goal as far as conditioning goes. So my focus will be primarily just changing my diet. I'm not really going to change how I train because, as most of you guys know already, my diet or my training, stays the same pretty much regardless of whether I'm bulking or cutting. I sort of train decently heavy year round just because that's the way I like to train, and I'm not going to change it just because some people say that it's better to do higher repetitions when you're trying to burn fat. I don't necessarily agree with that because in my experience, applied pressure is applied pressure. And lifting heavy, trust me, it gets my heart rate up just as much as doing multiple repetitions. And you guys have a pretty good idea of how I train now. Even though I train quote unquote heavy, I'm still doing quite a few reps. Like you'll notice even in my first few sets, I typically do even in my first set, I might do 20 reps just because I'm getting that mind-muscle connection dialed in. And if I feel my muscles pumping up and I just want to keep going, I'll do that. I'm not afraid for someone to tell me 20 reps is too much for one set. That's subjective. So just train however you want to train, I guess is what I'm saying. There's no right or wrong way. I've just personally found the right way for myself. So take that for what it is, you know? And yeah, that's a big thing, you know, not being afraid to be yourself no matter what. Because there's a lot of people that, you know, would critique my training and say, oh, you could be doing this, you could be doing that. But ultimately, if I've found what works for me, then that's the only thing that matters. It's not, you know, it's not really about anything else for me anyways. So yeah, when putting on size, you know, the diet, that is the main factor, right? So I'm ending off this week at 2,700 calories a day. And so my maintenance for my body weight is roughly 3,100 calories. That being said, keeping that in mind, I'm sure that my gaining period will start somewhere around 3,500 calories a day. Now, I will raise that, but I gotta be extremely careful about how I do this, because if I just overload myself with food right away, I can start to put on fat pretty quickly. So I wanna maintain my metabolic rate without absolutely chalking my metabolism right off the rip, because that's sort of what tends to happen when you're putting on size, and then you end up putting on a lot of fat, which is really unnecessary. And I don't do cardio. I'm not a cardio person. I don't do cardio in the off season especially. So it'll mainly be keeping my diet in check. So when it comes to putting on size, you guys, you want to be in a 300 to 500 calorie surplus. If your caloric surplus is more than that, it's probably too much. And this is just speaking from my experience, okay? You might be an anomaly, you might be different to where you need more than that. I know when I was younger, I did need more than that. Now that I'm 28 and, you know, things don't go as they once did, you know, my metabolism isn't that crazy as it once was. Yeah, 300 to 500 calories is plenty. Over and above maintenance, right? We're talking over and above maintenance. So, you know, if I'm 3,600 calories a day, that's gonna put me in a pretty good place to start gaining muscle right off the hop. So if you're someone who's, say, like 180 pounds, you know, like 5'11", 6 foot, you're probably looking at around the same caloric intake as me, to be honest with you. And to put on size, you'd probably be wanting to eat something similar. So, I mean, there's a lot of places online you can go and look up like what your particular body mass index requires for growth and for cutting and maintaining and all that, which is pretty cool. I find it very, very cool that, you know, any question I have, I can pretty much find an answer to within minutes, and sort of gather a direction in which I, you know, need to go, essentially. But yeah, for putting on size, you know, it's really not rocket science. I think what people struggle with the most is just the will to continue regardless of how one feels in the moment. Okay, so like day one of putting on size, you're not going to see a whole lot of progress, right? Day 30, you might have seen a little bit of progress. But because we look at ourselves in the mirror every single day, it really becomes this mental game, because we look at ourselves so much that we don't even realize what we're seeing. It always looks the same to us. And this is like where a lot of body dysmorphia and, you know, things like that play a huge role. But we have to learn to sort of see past that. It can be difficult too, because a lot of people go by the scale more so than what they see in the mirror. And depending on like what your perception is like, maybe you don't realize what you're seeing in the mirror too. So all that to say, patience is key. And if you just stick to a plan for a whole year or even 6 months, you'll be astonished. Like, take pictures and compare them, and you'll be astonished at what you see. But, you know, like, if you eat in a surplus, a 300 to 500 calorie surplus, every day for 6 months, you're going to put on muscle if you're stimulating the muscle properly. And that's a huge thing. And I guess we should touch base on that really quick too, because, you know, I can't stress this enough. If you're not applying the stimulus properly, that is, then you won't see the type of growth that you want to see. So it's really about, I'll sum it up for you really, really simply, right? It's really about applying the stimulus and not over applying the stimulus too, because we can overtrain, and that happens a lot. I did that for many years. So be wary of this. You need to apply the stimulus without overdoing it, and then you need to recover. And recovery means eating and sleeping. That's it. So with those 3 things in mind, right, you are in a perfect place to start putting on size right now. And this is backed by the most successful bodybuilders. There are 3 main components, or basically 2 main components. It's apply stimulus and rest. That's it. But overtraining needs to stop because it's counterproductive to our goal. So that, you know, that would be like the 3rd rule, essentially. I think Mike Mentor was the one who talked about overtraining just being probably the worst thing you can do for yourself. So, you know, everybody's going to be different. Some people can train longer and harder. Some people, you know, can't train that long and hard, or, you know, just depending on multiple factors, you may or may not be able to train to the degree that someone else may train. But keep in mind that the body is very intelligent. And if you just listen to your body, it will tell you what you need. Like, for example, for me, I know I need at least 1 rest day a week, if not 2. I usually take 2 typically, but I'm always paying attention to how I'm feeling. Like, if I have delayed onset muscle soreness in like my back and my arms, and I'm training legs today, and I know I'm going to have DOMs in my legs tomorrow, then like I'm going to take a day off on, you know, like Sunday, or like whatever the case may be. Maybe it's a Friday. Typically I take Fridays and Sundays. So, you know, and again, like too, training around body parts that are sore, right? So if I'm like today, for example, I was originally going to train arms. I was going to film an arm day for you guys. And I decided that I needed to do a back day today, because regardless of the order of my content, if I train arms today and I try and train back tomorrow, well, my arms are cooked. And it's going to lead to me probably cooking my arms way more than I need to if I'm trying to train back tomorrow. And so, I mean, there is a little bit of overlap, because I am going to be using a little bit of arms today and back, but it'll be a lot more productive for me to train arms today and train back tomorrow, train back today and then train arms tomorrow, rather than training arms today and training back tomorrow, because arms are kind of getting double hit then when they're already completely sauced. This way I can train my back as hard as I can, and my arms are fresh for that. And then tomorrow, I mean, I'm not really doing any exercises that incorporate back on arm day. I might do the reverse grip pull down. I use that for biceps now. Sam Sulik taught me that, so shout out Sam. But other than that, I won't be incorporating anything that even comes close to stimulating my back. So just, you know, think about that and sort of tailor your routine to the way that you want to grow, and just be smart about it, right? There's no right or wrong way to do this, but there are more helpful and less helpful ways. So I guess that's all I'm saying. So guys, when it comes to putting on size, this is literally the only video you need to watch. I promise you that if you just take this advice, you will start putting on size, and you will do it quickly. Obviously, for people who are, enhanced, taking extra supplements on top of like natural supplements, it's going to work way faster. But even then, guys, listen, I see so many guys in the gym that I know, like 99.9%, I could say that they are on gear based on how they look and like their energy, and also like their skin and things like that. Like there are key markers that I can pick up on that'll tell me whether or not someone's probably on gear. And guys, like, they do not look good. So it doesn't matter what you're taking. It does matter though what you're doing on top of what you're taking. So like training, fundamental. Eating, fundamental. If those two things are great, you're gonna look great. If those two things are shit, you're gonna look like shit. And pardon my language, but that's just it. That's the raw truth, right? And I know you guys already know that, but we have to touch on the fundamentals here because everything starts from truth, and we can't get anywhere if we start from a place of dishonesty. So eating, sleeping, you got to be sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night if you want to optimize your muscle growth. If you can't sleep that much, then your body's just going to have to do what it can with what it's given. But understand that your body only does what it can with what it's given, right? Nutrition wise, sleep wise, water wise. And that comes in with the stimulus too, right? Like if you're stimulating the muscle really, really good, but you're underfeeding yourself, that's going to reflect in the way that you look and in the way that you recover, how long you have DOMs for, and things like that. So it's a very nuanced conversation, but there's so much to cover. I don't think we could cover it all in just, one car talk on the way to the gym. But let me know what you guys think. Let's chat about it more in the future. We can do another video if you guys are interested and want to hear more about like getting into the real like nitty gritty details about putting on size. But I promise you, as long as you are eating in a surplus and don't eat dirty all the time, just keep it fairly clean. Try and eat whole foods, right? You don't want to look like a bag of water. Like, it's better to put on clean size rather than, putting on more fat than muscle. If we can put on, 100% muscle, that would be great. Obviously that's a bit unrealistic, in terms of, what we can expect our body to do. But at the end of the day, like I said, the body's going to do what it feels is the most optimal with the nutrition that it's given and the time to recover that it's given. So yeah, like I say, try and keep your protein nice and high, right? You want your protein to be at minimum like 30% of what you're eating. For me, typically it's like, between 30 and 40%. And then, my carbs will be, for me, like 40%, maybe even 45. It might be like 35 protein, 45 carb, 10 fat, or 20 fat. So, I may have got my math wrong there, but I just got off work and I'm going to go train. I'm not really like trying to do, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? Like, so, for me personally, I keep my fats a lot lower and I keep my carbs a lot higher. That's just like the way I like the way I look on that sort of nutrition protocol. There was a time when I was doing higher fats, but I was a lot more watery looking. And, yeah, that's fine too, but it's just all personal preference and nothing crazy there. It's not really going to impact you that much. And certainly in terms of how much fat you put on, the fat content that you eat in regards to a percentage when compared to protein and carbs, it's really not going to make a difference. Calories in and out is really what matters. So as long as your calories going in and going out are at an optimal level for you to be putting on size and you're not overdoing it, then you're not going to over accumulate fat. So just something to keep in mind, right? All personal preference, but for me, that's what I prefer. All that being said, guys, I really hope that you gathered something from this talk. You were able to take something from it. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, let me know what other content you guys want to see. I have a lot of routines that I do to keep myself organized and focused and disciplined. So I'm not sure like how you guys are feeling about like, you know, the content at home, like when I'm eating my meals and doing stuff around the house and like, you know, taking the dog out and things like that, running errands. But let me know if you guys like seeing that content. I'll do more of it. And let me know what other content you guys want to see. Aside from that, we're going to keep it up with the heavy training videos. And, you know, I want you guys to stick around and see my transformation. And, you know, to be quite honest, it's an ever-going transformation. I'll never be done. But I am planning to put on some serious size this year. And, yeah, you're going to want to be around for this. So that being said, let's go in, let's train some back, and let's just leave everything on the gym floor. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys take care, and I'll see you soon. We got more. One more.
How many sets you got left, bro?
I was gonna call it quits, but I'm gonna do one more, bro. You want to jump in?
Yeah, I'll jump in after you.
Sounds good, man. Are you starting with?
Finished 3 heavy sets, so.
Okay, fair enough.
Take another 2 minutes.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I feel that. Are you starting with a plate or 2?
I'm gonna start with 2. I'm pretty good to go.
Pretty warmed up.
Yeah.
I figured. Good shit, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Alrighty guys, welcome back. We are here for our last meal of the day. Now this meal, as always, consists of 2 whole eggs, one of which is hidden at the moment, 300 milliliters of egg whites, and 2 whole English muffins with approximately 3 tablespoons of strawberry jam. And we also have our vitamins for the day. Now, I just want to go over one more time with you guys so that you have an understanding of the 3 pillars when it comes to putting on size, right? These are the 3 fundamental things that need to be in place in order for muscle to be built and for that to be reoccurring on a consistent basis. Of course, we have to be consistent every day with it, but I know I said earlier that there are 2, basically lumping in nutrition and recovery, but I feel that those are 2 separate things and 2 very important things, so they need their own category. So the 3 fundamentals for putting on muscle are A, stimulus, B, nutrition, and C, recovery. And I promise you guys, if those 3 things are all in alignment, there will be absolutely no way that your body has any other choice than to get bigger. So let's get this meal in, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Mm.